Today we uncover a coin that might be hiding in your pocket right now, a coin that most people walk past without ever knowing its hidden worth. What if I told you that a humble nickel from 1977, yes, a 1977 Jefferson nickel, could hold extraordinary value if it bears a rare error or if it's in top numismatic condition? Stay tuned because we're diving deep into the 1977 Monticello Jefferson nickel, its history, its value, the fascinating error varieties, what collectors are desperately searching for, and how you can spot a coin that could be worth much more than 5 cents. Now let's break down everything about the 1977 Monticello Jefferson nickel rare error coin value, starting with its history and context. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It features on the obverse the third U.S. President, Thomas Jefferson, and on the reverse his beloved home, Monticello. The designer was Felix Schlag, whose design would become one of the most enduring images in U.S. coinage. In 1977, the United States Mint produced millions of these nickels at 3 mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The bulk were typical circulation strikes, but as with many years of coinage, a small number exhibit interesting traits that are sought after by collectors. The design features are classic and familiar. The obverse depicts a left-facing profile of Jefferson, anchoring the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1977. On the reverse, the well-recognized image of Monticello sits at the focal point, framed by E Pluribus Unum at the top, United States of America below, and 5 cents underneath the Monticello building, signifying one of the most iconic symbols in U.S. coinage. Let's talk about mintage and how common these coins are. In 1977, the Philadelphia Mint struck 585,376,000 nickels with no mint mark. The Denver Mint produced 297,313,460 coins with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint struck 3,251,152 proof coins with an S mint mark. The proof coins were specially made for collectors and are mirror-like in finish. The circulation strikes from Philadelphia and Denver were made for everyday transactions and remain fairly common today. Ordinary circulated examples of a 1977 Jefferson nickel, regardless of mint mark, are still essentially worth their face value, about 5 cents in average condition. In slightly better condition, they might trade for small premiums, perhaps 10 to 50 cents if well preserved. But those general values dramatically change in uncirculated grades and in examples with special characteristics. But for serious collectors, what makes the 1977 nickel exciting are the error types and premium features. While the 1977 Jefferson nickel does not have widely documented major die varieties, like dramatic double die types recognized by major grading services, there are minting errors and unusual varieties that can produce significant interest and value. If authenticated and graded professionally, now let's walk through the most important error and collectible features you should know. 1. Off-center strikes. Occasionally a coin planchet isn't fed centrally into the press. When that happens, part of the coin's design might be missing because the strike was off-center. These errors can vary widely in appearance and value. Minor off-center strikes may only be worth a few dollars, while dramatic examples, where a significant portion of the design is off, can command premium prices up to a few $100s, especially if the date and mint mark remain fully visible. Point 2. Die cut and die cracks. A die cut occurs when part of the minting die breaks, causing a raised lump or blob of metal to appear on the coin's surface. On a 1977 nickel, this can affect the rim or design fields and make an otherwise ordinary coin into an error collectible. Die cracks, raised lines where the die has cracked, can appear across fields or through letters, and while they don't always translate to high value, notable cracks do attract attention and modest premiums. Point 3. Wrong planchet errors. One of the most visually striking errors is a coin struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a nickel design struck on a penny or dime planchet. These coins will display the Jefferson nickel design, but will be the size, weight, and sometimes color of the incorrect denomination. These are rare and appealing to collectors. Common wrong planchet nickels can often bring well over $150, and especially eye-catching ones have been known to sell for thousands of dollars at auction. 4. Mint mark varieties. Though major mint-era varieties are not widely recognized for 1977 nickels, sometimes mint mark anomalies like repunched mint marks, for example, a weak D over S impression, occur. If an example shows a clear mint mark anomaly, it can be worth significantly more. However, such examples must be verified by professional grading services, as many apparent oddities are post-mint damage rather than genuine errors. 5. Uncirculated and full steps designation. One of the most prized features for Jefferson nickels of this era is the so-called full steps designation. This refers to how fully the 6 steps of Monticello's front stairs are struck on the reverse. Most Jefferson nickels, especially from the 1960s and 1970s, were weakly struck and do not show all 6 steps sharply. Coins that do show all steps crisply are rare and command premiums. For example, a 1977 nickel with full steps graded in high mint state can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on grade and marketplace conditions. Now let's talk about market values you might see today for 1977 Jefferson nickels. For ordinary circulated examples, the kind you might find in pocket change, the value is usually only face value, perhaps a bit higher for coins in above-average condition. Slightly better grades, like AU, about uncirculated, or MS, mint state, start commanding modest premiums, often in the single digits to low double digits unless other factors apply. However, the real value pops when a coin is either a proof from San Francisco in immaculate condition or an error specimen with one of the rarer striking issues we discussed earlier. Proof coins from 1977 with strong surfaces and mirror-like fields can trade for much more than circulation strikes, sometimes in the tens of dollars or more for high-grade examples. Then there are the high-grade, rare pieces that become headline-worthy. There are record auction examples of 1977 Jefferson nickels, particularly those with rare characteristics or extreme mint state grades, bringing over $4,000 at auction. That means a coin you might have never thought twice about could actually be significant if it meets the right criteria. But a key point for any collector or finder is this: professional grading matters. Coins with potential errors or exceptional surface quality should be submitted to reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. These services authenticate the coin and assign an official grade, which greatly influences market value and buyer confidence. Without professional certification, you may not realize the full premium your coin could command. Let's highlight some collector interest and why certain coins sell. Collectors often prioritize the following when evaluating a 1977 nickel: condition and grade. Higher mint state grades bring greater value. Error authenticity. Genuine minting errors verified by grading services. Full step status. Sharply struck steps are rare and prized. Eye appeal. Toning, strike quality, and surface luster can influence desirability. Provenance and auction records. Coins with interesting histories or past auction. Performance often sell more readily. Where should you look if you think you have a 1977 nickel worth something? First, check for obvious die and striking anomalies. Is the design off-center? Are there strange blobs or missing sections? Does the outline appear incomplete or unusual? If a coin looks significantly different from a normal nickel, treat it as a candidate for evaluation. Then, examine the steps on Monticello's stairs. If all steps are visible and crisp, it's potentially valuable. Finally, assess overall condition. A clean, lustrous surface often attracts higher prices than dull or worn coins. Now you understand why collectors get excited over a coin like the 1977 Monticello Jefferson nickel rare error coin. What appears to be a common 5-cent piece can, under the right circumstances, transform into a collectible treasure, one that captures both historical intrigue and monetary value. If you think you've found an error nickel, especially one that looks noticeably off compared to standard issues, consider having it professionally authenticated and graded before making any decisions. That step could be the difference between spending 5 cents and uncovering a hidden treasure.